Hello and welcome back to Sports for Dummies. In today's episode, we're doing a preview of round 12 in the AFL. Got an absolute cracking round ahead. And to kickstart, Johnny, we have your Blue Baggers playing Port Adelaide. Match of the round, would you have to say?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, ladder position-wise, it absolutely is. We got Port third and Carlton eighth, but only a game separating.
It's going to be interesting. It's make or break. I kind of hope you Blue Baggers can win, because if you help Essendon out a little bit, it'd be pretty good, because we verse you next week. Anyway, we're going to learn a lot about these two teams and where they really sit, because like you said, it's only 4 points that separate these two. Port have been very consistent lately. The last time you guys played, though, you pumped them.
It was a weird time last time we played them. It was sort of, Carlton had won maybe 2 games in a row, possibly 3, but we'd beaten Gold Coast and Fremantle, and we were getting a little bit of a run, but no one thought we were going to, play finals, and Port Adelaide were, firm top 2. Port Adelaide rested a lot of players, and we had a couple of injuries at the start of that game, so it sort of evened up. But we won by 50 points, and it was really when I and probably most other Carlton supporters were like, we're here. We can actually, if we keep going, not that we think we'd make a prelim, but it's like we might be able to sneak into the 8.
I guess the issue, that's obviously last year.
Yeah.
You guys aren't notoriously good over in Adelaide, are you?
Well, we had this conversation last time we played at Adelaide Oval, and we beat Fremantle. So I don't know. We have not beaten Adelaide or Port Adelaide over there.
What do you mean, ever?
Not at Adelaide Oval, no. We've never won a game there. The only team we beat was Fremantle and Gatherround. Which is really weird, because if you go look, Carlton have an awesome record in Adelaide, but Adelaide Oval is not Football Park. It's a completely new stadium. So I always feel confident going over there, but it's completely different. It's a completely different thing. This is going to be interesting, because for the first time, Carlton have gone in all year without a change to our side. Meaning
you must feel good about that. You haven't changed any, so there's no injury, no delistings, nothing.
We haven't dropped anyone. Don't know why Fantasia has not been dropped, but just give him time. But no injuries. That's the best one, and the key to that is our back 6.
Yeah,
McGovern was awesome. It gives Wiedering the chance to not just play a stopper role. He can be that quarterback, take the intercept marks. Sard there, another player with skill. Boyd, Cohen was really good down back as well. We're a bit set, which is really good.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide though, getting what Carlton have been going through all year. No Rosie. I think Willie Rioli, they've named it. He's out as well.
I was going to say, you guys in your back 6, I was going to say you're definitely going to net against their front 6, because you've got the likes of Marshall and Dixon. I think you guys are really going to...
Not worried about that.
No, that's what I'm saying. You actually match up really well against them. Not having Rosie for them is pretty big.
Oh, 100%.
And Willie Rioli.
Willie Rioli's I reckon he's been playing career best form as well. Small forwards tend to kill us as well. This is an interesting one, because if this was in Melbourne, I actually reckon we'd win quite easily.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
If we look at it, they've lost Rosie.
Yep.
I reckon our midfield contestedly is better than theirs. That's not to say Zach Butters is one of the premier midfielders in the comp. I was just listening to SEN. He's in the top 4 players for not only winning contested ball, but then using it as well. So he does both. Francis Horn, whichever one it is that I get wrong. It's whatever.
I don't know what it is.
Whatever I say. It's whatever I say it to be. I reckon in the midfield, contestedly, we're going to smack them. Our forward line should be too much for their back line. They've got good halfbacks, but they're like Radicalier is not an intelligent footballer. He's good when he gets to jump at the ball, but one-on-one, he gets beaten by players much smaller. He's going to have his hands full against Mackay and Curnow.
I was going to say Mackay's had an average of 7.7 marks per game, so he's going to have his hands full. Radicalier with Curnow. What is Curnow leading the?
Curno's leading the Coleman again, kicking 4 on the weekend after having a horrible first half. I think we've doubted he just rocks up in the third quarter. Thatcher's a really good player for them as well, but he's a bit undersized.
Yeah.
This is where it could be ugly. Ali is good, but how good is he 1-on-1? So they've got Ali and Radicalia who are good with the balls up. So Carlton, if we can lower our eyes, I think we could be too much for them. In terms of users off the back line, Farrell, Bergman, Houston, all good users. And that's what Port Adelaide have to do, because I don't think they're going to beat us in the guts. Our forward line's going to be too good. Players like Houston, Bergman, Burn Jones, William Drew, these type of players to get the ball and transition, because Carlton can get a lot of the ball, but sometimes we don't. We sort of just bomb it in long, and if they can intercept, that's where I'm concerned, because Port can score very, very quickly.
What's going to be is Ollie Wines in?
Yeah.
So Francis Horn. They've got all their balls. The only one, like you said, is Rosie, and
He's that polished player, isn't he?
He's that polished where he can hit the scoreboard as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys, you're not like a Sydney where you have a player who can hit the scoreboard as dominant as, Papley, sorry.
No,
they were the two, Heaney and Warner.
No, yeah. Well, ours are different. Cripps goes forward but plays as a forward.
Yeah.
Which is Cripps is 196, but he doesn't kick goals from the midfield.
He has kicked it. I'm not saying he doesn't. But
he does it more when he actually plays as a forward.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he's not getting the ball, off that half forward line type of thing. Really important for Walsh. I know he had 32 on the weekend, but he had 6 or 7 turnovers and was consistently kicking to Mac Andrew, who was absolutely killing us. Just a bit more awareness, but I think we... On this, in terms of, as I said, it's at Port Adelaide, so it's going to be hard. They're going to have the crowd for them. This was in Melbourne. I reckon we'd win by 4 or 5 goals. In saying that, it's not. So I think Carlton by 12 points.
Big verdict. I hope Carlton win.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think will win, though?
It's a hard one, Johnny. It's a really hard... I'm just going to go with Carlton.
Yay!
Just purely based on... Look, I do think you guys have their measure. Port are just very unsuspecting. Even though they sit third, it's kind of like the Essendon. It can be...
They're not a strong third. I think...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like Essendon are not a strong second. Port aren't a strong third.
I think Sydney is the only side where you're like, there's Sydney and then there's a whole deck.
Yeah.
And you'd probably put Collingwood at the top of that deck, but because of injuries, and we'll get into that, they're still in the pack.
Reliable.
They've got more injuries.
Oh no!
Exactly. And that's what I mean. Port, Carlton, Melbourne. Where does everyone sit? These are where these games are important, because we're going to see. If Port come out and win, they've beaten a good side. Carlton win away. At Adelaide Oval. Then you start to think, okay, all right.
I probably shouldn't be so not pessimistic with the league, because when it comes to picking the teams, it's like, oh shit, who do I reckon based because it is such an open league. It's actually such a good time of the year as well. Round 12, we've got another 12 after this.
We've done we're at the halfway point. Everyone's played 11,
and it's awesome to see it is an open field. It's like Melbourne can go, in the top 8 and then lose against West Coast. And then Essendon almost lose to West Coast. Essendon get pumped by Port. Essendon sit above. There's just these little... It is interesting to see.
Well, Carlton win. They go to fourth. We'll go to 5th. But if we lose and Fremantle win, we could drop as much as 11th.
Yeah.
We could go. We could go. We could. Oh, sorry, Dogs are too far behind.
No, I think it's 10th.
So we could go to. We could be 5th or 10th. And we're probably it's an interesting league.
And then you guys have us, the Bombers, next.
We'll talk about that
Sunday.
next week.
I'm already excited. We're already going.
That's
in my
good.
head, we're already there. And Essendon win. The next game we have is the Pies take on the Western Bulldogs at the MCG this Friday. So, in terms of ladder position, you got Collingwood, 7th place.
Mm-hmm.
Doggies 11th. Now, Collingwood's 7th place. They haven't lost a game since they lost their 3 in a row at the start of the year. So they're in hot form. They've had 2 draws and 6 wins since. It's really going to be do or die for these Western Bulldogs because realistically, 5 and 6, 11th position.
It's still a die, and it's really rough because they were very gallant against Sydney. Players were dropping off left, right, and centre. But this is just purely from a ladder position. They just need to win.
Need to win.
Then they're not in that pack of. Well, you've got the top 8 who are all on 28, but they're not even. They're not even at the Fremantle Gold Coast level yet. And they've got some massive outs. So Norton's gone.
How long's he out for?
It wasn't. I think it's only a month.
It's a month.
It's a month, yeah. But Richards, who has been since Libba's been out, has been put in the midfield. Who's got pace, skills. He was leading everybody on the ground possession wise up until that in that third quarter. He's gone with concussion, and Scott went out early. So this and Libba's probably still 1 to 2 weeks away. So I was thinking maybe they have a chance because it looks like Pendlebury's not playing this week.
You know what? Ugle-Hagen's playing some incredible football. And
so good to watch.
You were saying that at the start of this year. I didn't really buy into it, but now I'm like, and he competed against a pretty good Sydney defence when you look at it.
He was killing him. This is what was annoying about Bont last week. Ugle-Hagen had the ball on a string. He was marking over packs. He was marking on the lead. He was marking on one-on-one. 2 times in that third quarter that he could have hit him lace out on the left forward pocket when he was leading. He burnt him.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
Stuff this guy.
Collingwood have more injuries though. Cox is out. Richard's gone. My check after just coming back from hammy did it again. Probably shouldn't have brought him back. To go, he's not going to play, and there's fears that Pendles ain't playing. So I was going to say this was the chance, but big losses for the Dogs. This is incredible, this game. This is going to be a really close game. I think both sides are injury ridden. We're not getting the best out of them, out of each, but I just think Collingwood are just going to be... It's funny. If you look at some of those players, Collingwood's list, they played 4 or 5 players who played under 10 games last week. And that shows in the last quarters and whatnot. I just think they're too well coached.
Yeah,
they all know what they're doing.
The last time they played, the last 2 times. It's the last time they played. Doggies lost by 2 goals.
Yeah,
and that was, I'm positively certain that would have been at Marvel. This is at the G.
You take Pendlebury out now. Now this is where Bont. I'm going to put a challenge down to the Bont, who's an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
The difference between Bont and players like Warner, Goulden, even Heaney to a lesser extent, they went forward and kicked goals. When the moment was there, Bont missed his. Missed easy passes to an informed player. He's going to go, even if Pendlebury's out. Dacos is the best ball win. It's funny, everyone said Dacos couldn't win a hard ball. He's the number 1 for hard ball, for contested footy in the last month. Only because
he loves a challenge.
Well, it's because when you got Tom Mitchell out, Degoe out, they're your contested bulls. That's why. So
that's what you're employed for.
He's changed his game. Yep. His disposal isn't as good since, but he's not getting the easy ball anymore. He's getting the ball with people, grabbing him and whatnot. This is where Bont have a field day because we know what Dacos is going to bring, but what are the other players going to go? Your players like Cripps and whatnot. Sorry, Crisp. This is where they could take advantage. Like, I look at it and Dogs have... This is where they could take advantage here. I don't think they will.
They're going to play too soft a footy. I think, statistically, Collingwood, a lot more tackles. I know Bulldogs are going to try and control the ball. They take a lot more marks than the Collingwood Football Club. And they normally have a lot more disposals. I just don't see them, though. I think Collingwood, just given... where they're at, they're probably sick and tired of the 2 draws that they've had over the last the last five games have had 2 draws.
Yeah.
3 wins in between and then the 2. So it's like they're going to want to come out and steamroll them. I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a big margin, but I think Collingwood will get up. Even with their injuries, they
both have it. And it's a shame that Pendlebury could be out, but I'm with you. I think Collingwood will be. Collingwood are used to this. I reckon it'll be a close game though. I reckon it'll be within 10 points. Collingwood win.
Yeah, I'm predicting around the 10 to 20. Let's call it 20 points.
Okay. No.
All right, we'll jump into the next game. which we have. And actually, you know what? This could be match of the round. It could very well.
Hawks should be favourite.
Hawks and Adelaide. That is one of the. Who are the favourites then?
Adelaide.
Are they genuinely favourites? Oh, yeah, there are two. 165 to 225. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, it is 14th plays 12th, and it is at the G. Wait, no. It's at, what's the name? It's at their home ground, isn't it? Sorry,
No,
guys.
it's at the MCG.
No, it is at the I thought for some reason it was down in, where do they play in Tassie? What's their ground called?
I don't know what it's called anymore. It used to be called York Park, Aurora Stadium, blah, blah, blah. I think the Hawks are going to be too good here. I reckon it should be an absolute Monty. They were too good for Brisbane. They should have beaten Port Adelaide.
Well, last time they played that, there was 3 points difference.
Exactly, and Adelaide were in good form. Adelaide aren't in the best form. I'm just really liking how Hawthorn are going about it. Their forward line, Joel Gunston, looked fantastic on the weekend. Newcomb's been playing really good football. I'm loving Will Day back in the side. He's been fantastic. Yep. Carl Amon off the halfback and then Sicily came back. So now you've got good ball users.
Yeah.
Guinea, Hardwick, they're annoying players. They're annoying teams. I just think Warple adding that bigger body. I mean, Adelaide, we know what Adelaide can do, but I just don't see it happening. If this was in Adelaide, I'd tip Adelaide. I'm not.
Adelaide performance at home is a lot different from what it is away at the moment. They don't have the confidence at them. Obviously, they've come off a 99-point win against the West Coast Eagles.
Correct.
Arguably, it was a clear statement. Yeah, we're here to play. We're not taking. Even though, can I just say, Harley Reid's push off against Rochelle.
Of course, we have to talk about Harley Reid.
I'm sorry.
We're not even talking about West Coast. How much has this guy infiltrated the stratosphere? He played in a game where they lost by 100 points, and we're talking about Harley Reid.
He fucking body slammed him with one hand. He held the ball and he went, oh shit, I got to take you on. Just.
I'm definitely tipping Hawthorn now. That's how good Adelaide are. When they win by 99 points, Adelaide's forward line is still the scary part.
That's what it's just their back line.
Cam Walker take control. Rochelle was really good last week. But I like Hawthorn's back line. Froster's been really good. They've got good users off the ball. They're third for loose ball gets now. They're becoming a tough side. They've got soul. I'm not sure if this Adelaide side have
that soul.
Do they have soul?
You know what? You've almost convinced me. I might actually. Are you tipping Hawks?
Absolutely. They should be a certainty.
I think it was because Adelaide took their win last week and did it so dominantly. It was just, I think everyone's like, shit. But you called Hawthorn last week. Maybe I'll follow suit.
Are you going to follow suit?
I reckon I'll sit there with my tips and do a typical.
Tell the viewers.
Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it?
Who would you tip? Hawthorn, Adelaide? That was last week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hawthorn, 12 points.
Good man. Smart.
All right, now that brings us to one of the shittest games in the AFL. West Coast Eagles takes on St Kilda, boring football club. This is
West Coast are actually favourites. Do you know how bad St Kilda are? West Coast are favourites.
I know. $1.77 to $2.10. That's hilarious.
Talk about Harley Reid for a bit.
Wait, no. Last 3 times, I'll run through the form guide. 16th plays 15th.
Okay.
Eagles are 16th. So realistically, one would assume they shouldn't be favourites, but they're both equal on wins and losses. So it's just on percentage. Mm-hmm. They're both in the same form. Out of the last 5 games, they've only won 1, lost 4. Mm-hmm. But the last 3 times these teams have versed one another, it's been 7 points and St Kilda got up. It was 62 to 90, St Kilda got up. Mm-hmm. And then West Coast got up by 8 points in the time before. So it doesn't seem like it's a high-scoring affair either. With the likes of Waterman, Harley Reid, McGovern down back, I can't like St Kilda don't have a star. Like I may as well
They
start
don't-
talking about
they-
Harley
they-
Reid
they-
because he's
that's-
much better.
That's why,
than
I wanted you to talk about.
You know
Harley
what's
Reid.
funny? Steele's going to come up against Harley Reid. Steele's their number one. Their B grade midfielder. He's going to get pantsed. This guy's going to get pushed. All these guys in the midfield are going to get pushed around like they're nothing. I can't. They're going to smack them. I actually think St Kilda are in a lot of strife here.
If
Like
they
a
lose,
lot of
if
strife.
they lose this game, there are going to be. There should already be question marks. There should be massive question marks. But these, it's a big ground. This is where player like Wanganeen Malira, Stocker, actually use Bobby Hill. They should be able to use this ground and their skills. Because let's take the form out. St Kilda should not go into this thinking they will lose. They shouldn't.
No,
think
they're
they
not
will
going to think they're going to lose.
But this is where they play this boring, low-scoring football.
Yep.
They've got the one thing they do have. They actually do have some good ball users.
Yeah, I agree.
King got back. He kicked 3 on the weekend, which was that was his best return to form for the year against I know it didn't have Lever, but still against May. That's a good effort. Kicking 3 goals on Stephen May, and when the ball's not coming into you. But I can see West Coast just absolutely taking a hold of them.
Yeah, just the bags that Waterman's kicked. I think they're at home. They love it at home.
But surely Ross Boss and the Saints
Well, I was
have
gonna say
pride. Do
because
they have pride?
Well, Optus Stadium, is that Freo's home ground as well?
Yeah, but they were Subi.
When Ross was there? Yeah. Okay, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Yeah.
I was going to give him... You know what the only thing St Kilda are very good at? Keeping scores low.
That's true.
And I think they will try and suffocate the play, stop
Can
the
they
momentum.
do,
But can they do that
at
against that
big
team?
against this big ground? Well,
with
they can.
this-
Well, they can do it against this team because West Coast aren't good.
Compared to
You
St
should
Kilda?
be able to. Yeah, but St Kilda have been doing it to better sides.
That's
and
true.
holding them on. It's just can they kick a score? This
I
is
actually think
this
that West
is where
Coast are
I
going to
think
get out by like 40 points. I just say it.
I think West Coast are going to win
think
too.
it's
I think
it.
they're going to win by 2 goals.
I think it's 40
but
points.
I feel like
What's
this
this 2-goal
I-
bullshit for you?
because I don't think it's going to be. I think St Kilda
Every game's been 2 goals.
because I think it's going to be a close round.
This is boring.
Well, what do you mean? What? No, boring is when it's fucking. If you know it's going to be 50 points, wait till the next game. You'll see how
Johnny,
boring it can get.
St Kilda-
St Kilda have the chance with some good ball users against a pretty average side and young side to actually get back to the winners list. I don't think they will, but please, St Kilda, play some exciting football. Please. That's all I ask.
Show a bit of heart.
Show a bit of heart.
There is none at the minute. And I think you're right. This is probably a game West Coast are favourites. This is the thing, right? Surely mentally, they go over there. They know they should win this game. They were in the finals I don't even know how they've gotten so bad.
But this is where West Coast. Okay, this is
They
weird.
thrive.
So no, this is weird for West Coast.
Because they're favourites for the first
When
time.
have they been?
Have they-
no
have they-
one's been favourites. No one knows what that's like in that side. They haven't been favourites for 3 years.
They'd be like, holy shit.
Expectations.
pressure.
Expectations.
Or maybe they thrive in it.
But we don't know. We'll find out.
Maybe this is the turning card, Johnny. Maybe this is the time for West Coast to ignite. They screenshot their favourites, put it up in the stands, put it out everywhere in the fucking change rooms, show who's boss, and go out there and smack them.
I hope they do. I hope they do because
40
St Kilda
points.
are rubbish.
40-point win.
Even if St Kilda win, they're boring.
You know what? They'll win, and it'll be like a typical 80 to 74. If that'll be the scoreline. If they do win, and it'll be like, what happened? King with 2 goals. Steele had 28 touches.
That's probably what will happen. That's probably what will happen.
Anyway, I hope that we see like Waterman 6 goals, Harley Reid 2 goals and 25 touches. Yo kicks 1 goal. And the thing about their midfield, actually, they do hit the scoreboard. Crisp as well.
No, they've got the West Coast are good. They've got upside to them. St Kilda don't. They don't have upside.
Very interesting. All right, brings us to the next game. Geelong plays Richmond. Johnny, Can the Tigers continue Cat's poor form
They can't.
at GMHBA 400? Oval?
They can't, but I don't reckon this will be an 80-point drubbing.
Oh, I do.
This should be tailor-made for Geelong. Geelong are going really bad. 4 in a row. They've lost their last couple at I'm calling it Skilled Stadium, just because I feel like it. Dangerfield's still not back. They should be way too strong for this side. Their list is too good. Now,
Richmond played too good last week. They're going to be sore. They're going to be injured. Geelong would be pissed off. They've just gotten defeated by GWS at home. Skilled Stadium, GMHBA is a fortress for Geelong.
So Graham's set to come in and Bauer all set to come back in.
Is that for
Richmond, but Bolton's out.
Shy Bolton? Oh, no, they're done.
Yeah, 80 points.
Retired.
80 points.
However, notoriously, on a ladder position, you got 6 plays 17th. The last time these two met, Richmond won. 102 to 78. May 12th, 2023. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. And the time before, it was only 3 points and Geelong won and that was at home.
Yeah, right.
And then the time before, which is 2021, we're not even going there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was a very different Tigers squad.
It's a very different Geelong squad too. Geelong have lost their last 4 and they've been smashed in the guts. They should be able to match, this midfield should be able to match it with Richmond's one. I dare say Dustin Martin's going to go into the midfield. Oh, he has to.
This actually changes everything.
Dusty has to
Dusty
go into the
wins
midfield.
the game, does he? Could Dusty do it?
Well,
Could Dusty kick another bag and have 30 disposals and carry the Tigers to an infamous win, one for the greats?
Okay, so Dusty...
Sorry.
Okay, so let's look at it if he does go in. Dusty, Prestia, Baker...
Better than their fucking midfield.
Going up against Duncan, Blitzarves...
Bowes, Bowie's.
And Bowie's, Brun... Martin and Prestia terrorised a much better Geelong midfield back in the day.
And
But
the
they're
Sydney
old.
side.
But they're old.
Yeah.
Well, Dusty wasn't in the middle of that game.
No, but...
He's going to have to play in the midfield this game. This is where I just give him...
Glimmer of hope.
Just because Geelong have been shit. They should win this easy, Geelong. Like, they should.
There'll be a lot of questions raised. How did they go from 7-0?
Why do I have a feeling that Richmond
will win.
Richmond are going to be Richmond are going to be close? Why do I have this feeling?
Well, I think...
Like, they're going to keep it within 5 goals.
Yeah, I think
It's going to be a scrubby game too. I don't think it's going to be exciting. I don't think it's going to be free-flowing.
Is it meant to be wet on the weekend?
I don't know. I haven't watched
That would be horrible, but it would work in Richmond's favour.
It would.
It really does depend. Who have you got? You didn't say.
Geelong by 4 goals. I'll make it exciting, Josh. 100 points.
My throat's like... Nah, I just... they can't lose this. Geelong by 5 goals.
I didn't say they'd win. I didn't say they'd win.
Sorry, guys. Protein shake went down the wrong hatch. Geelong by 5-6 goals. I can't see... If Geelong lose this... No, I can't see it. But their midfield...
I didn't say they'd lose.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying it internally in my head out loud.
Okay.
Does anyone else agree? It's a bit of a weird one because Richmond, I mean, they beat Sydney. They can come out and play against the best.
We have given Richmond this Sydney win
For too
bigger
long.
than any win in the history of sport. May as well give them a grand final. That's
You
how
know
much. We just hold our hat on it.
If Sydney go like 20 wins and 4 losses or like 20... Imagine if they go 23-1 and the one is Richmond. It will be the best win. As I said before, you know what? Screenshot that win, Richmond. Chuck it up on the change rooms.
When all our premierships back out here, Not allowed premierships in here, but we'll frame around 6 win. You know, for the culture. You're a fuckwit, Adam Moose.
Ooh, that was good. All right. That brings us. This game is exciting now.
Yes, it is.
This is a very exciting
Very
game.
excited for this one.
Melbourne takes on Fremantle. This is the Sunday
It's in Darwin.
afternoon shift. This is what we call it.
Yeah.
Battle of the Rucks. Sean Darcy, Luke Jackson take on Gawny Boy.
I'm so excited for this ruck contest. You've got, so Sean Darcy's back. Luke Jackson's stats have come down as on average.
You predicted that?
Well, the stats are out there now. I think they did it on SEN. They actually this is what I've been saying. He almost half his input goes, and you got Gawn, whose best is the best in like, you know, we're talking about Gawn now. Is he the best ruckman ever? I think this is going to be a fascinating Luke Jackson against his former team as well. He left for big money to go to Fremantle.
There's a bit more that rides on this game for him than anyone else.
I believe so. Fremantle are battling for a top 8 spot also, and Melbourne are battling to top 4. I think this is going to be fantastic.
Well, it is. Melbourne are in 4th place, Freo in 9th. The last time they met, Freo took it out by 7 points, Johnny, and that was at the G.
What's going to be interesting is Melbourne's forward line, which chops and changes week to week with Petty, Van Ruin, Ben Brown. Fritsch is always there.
Finally?
Well, we don't. They'll be named to see. They're going up against Alex Pearce, Luke Ryan, who have just been as far as a backline duo. I would have said Buckley and Taylor from GWS at the start of the year were the best two. I reckon these guys are making the case that they're the two best, 1, 2, because we talk about forwards and whatnot. 2 best budding and then we've got on the other hand, how did I forget? May and Lever.
Yeah. Now, I don't think Freo's, this is going to be a bit harsh. Freo's forward line isn't as good as what Melbourne's forward line is.
Both of them are average.
But they're both very average forward lines, and they're geared around their midfield and their defence. Turning the defence into offence.
Lever's not in too.
Lever's not in.
No, he's still out for 3-4 weeks.
You know what? I haven't been
I haven't mind Amos and Tracy. The ball just doesn't get there enough. Fremantle do not move the ball quick enough.
I wasn't talking, was I?
Were you making a point?
I was going to say I haven't made a decision on who's going to be the team I actually back to win very quickly today. And I was going to say Freo winning by a goal. Boom.
Freo to win.
Yep.
Ooh.
I think there's a lot more riding on this game for them than there is Melbourne, and I think Melbourne are going to come out and do their inconsistency. They lost against. You got to remember they lost against West Coast.
So did Fremantle.
Fuck. And they just drew with Collingwood, Johnny.
And yeah, I do you know what? You're not completely. I don't think it's a far-fetched. If this was at the MCG, I would have said it was a slam dunk for Melbourne.
Yeah.
Smaller ground, Fremantle suffocate sides.
Interesting.
I just go. What's the stat?
Stat on clearances. Dockers more. Dockers is actually pretty high. They're about 40 clearances a game. So their ruck duo is doing really well.
They've got some users, Fremantle. I mean, Sarong Fife. I've really liked Fife's. O'Meara's last few weeks, but I still think Gorm, Petrarca, Oliver, too good.
I was about to say hit outs. Freo average 34, Melbourne 40. So,
and they have 2 ruckmen.
Saying something, isn't it? So, how many points?
I reckon Melbourne by 17 points. In another grueling affair.
I just think Freo are going to get up. I just have this, you know how we talk about eye test and in football, and a lot of people have these intuition gut feels. Whether or not it's right, what are the odds at the moment?
$1.48 Melbourne, $2.67 Fremantle.
Okay, so pretty much 2/3 us swaying that way. That'll be interesting. Interesting to see. Now, brings us to my favourite game of the round.
Well, I was going to say, this says all the makings of a game of the round. It doesn't have it because Gold Coast are 10th, but Gold Coast versus Essendon at People's First Stadium choice. I don't give a fuck. Gold Coast are a different side at home.
What do you... Metricon?
It's People First chat.
I'm just fucking with you. No, I was just trying to...
Fucking stupid Peoples. This is a great game. Essendon season starts right now.
John, we're not even favourites.
I know. Baby, because the world knows what I know. The Gold Coast are shit away from home, but at home they can win. What is Essendon? What do you think, Josh? Being the Bombers supporter.
The last time we went up to Gold Coast and played them,
Yeah.
we won by 68 points, Johnny, back in 2021.
So you should have. They're shit.
But what are you saying now? We've got the measures to win this game. Like we should.
You should win this game. You're
most
clear
informed.
second. You haven't lost in 2 months. You shouldn't win. You shouldn't lose.
Look,
I don't think you're going to though.
Look, the thing is this. What?
You know what?
I really do. I really do. I think that the first...
Why do you think you're going to win? Talk to me.
I think our midfield.
You think they're midfield?
Our midfield.
So
our midfield.
Their midfield's going to be pissed because they got fucked on the weekend. Raul is going to be pissed because Cripps made him his bitch. He's going to run straight through. He's going to look at Merritt dead in the eye and he's going to run straight at him.
You know who's going to come into that midfield? Stringer.
Stringer boy?
Stringer's going to come in. I reckon he's going to be put in there on the first.
First bounce?
Yep. Every time he's been in the... Whenever we need a pep up and we need a bit of a go, we put him in the middle, and every time that's happened, we play so much better. I noticed that when we had against Richmond, when Stringer went into the middle, we instantly shifted. Even if Stringer didn't get the ball, we just had this unwavering belief or something clicked.
On a serious note, we both watched Mac Andrew destroy Curnow in that first half. Who's playing on him?
Would it be Peter Wright or would it be... Well, Jones is still out. Langford?
I'd be putting... I'll say I wouldn't put Langford on him. He's too tall and fast. And mate, he destroyed Curnow. But the moment Mackay went onto him, he couldn't win in the air, and Mackay was too quick. Now Mac Andrew probably a bit too quick for Wright, but he's not going to be able to bully him in the air.
No, I was going to say Peter Wright's really, really good.
He's huge.
He's massive. But yeah,
that kid can play.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Who's up forward for Gold Coast? Ben, not Max.
Well,
which one? Which King is it? Is it Max or Ben?
You got Ben King. Ben Long was huge for them, so he's like a medium, small forward. He really brought them back into it against us last week. Was it Lloyd Johnston?
So it's going to be Ben on Ben. It's going to be Ben King plays Ben Mackay.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Right. Nice.
Mackay's going to smash it.
Yeah, this is...
But in saying that, Ben King is much better than Max.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That guy kicks goals. What the Suns do have good ball users, and they like it when it's on their home deck.
We've improved our efficiency by a foot.
Having Ridley back is huge.
Mate, Ridley's huge for us at the moment. We're still without Draper, Jones, Setterfield. I know you don't rate Setterfield. Dersma.
How are they second? You Setterfield? Ugh.
You know what? It's not even an arrogance. It's more just I'm confident in Essendon. Essendon are going to win. It's not going to be a big score. You're going to
be a tight game.
It'll be a tight game. We'll win by 2 goals. We're notorious for it. I think we're becoming the new Carlton and new Collingwood. And the race to 17's on, bitch.
Race to 17. Well played. Who
are you going for?
I think the Suns will win by 3 goals. I generally reckon they will. I think Essendon have been playing really good football. Every side is due for a loss. Essendon are now coming into a very interesting part.
I just don't think we won. If we had won by more, we would have been far more hungry. It's like we've taken it really easy. And I think that's going to be behind closed doors with the coaching. I think that will be absolutely okay. you guys, we haven't. We're not losing anyone. We're not having injuries. We're not having issues. We should have.
No,
our game plan should be getting
on
better.
on paper and form, you should win.
Yeah, and no, not on paper. On paper, mate, the people putting the money down, they're saying
paper is line up and form. But people also know that doesn't account for anything, and they're taking into account the Suns are strong at home.
Yeah, they're stupid.
People aren't sold on you. Stupid. And the reason I guess people aren't completely sold on you yet is you've just beaten in West Coast and Richmond. And it took you the second half to put North away. So but that's legitimate things.
So people aren't fair.
You guys have literally 4 times been in position like this and failed.
So I would say this. Yep. So I would say it's more that. Yep, you're right. It's more geared that we've been up in the higher end of the ladder.
How long does it last for? That's what people are thinking. That's what people are thinking. How long is this going to last? A dynasty team. Okay.
I'm joking. What do you expect me to say?
He should be able to then beat this side by 5 goals.
No, I don't think 5. Mate, a win's a win. I don't care how bloody scrappy it takes.
80 points or it's not a win.
I don't care how scrappy it is.
Essendon arrogance needs to go.
It's not even an Essendon arrogance. I've said to you from day one, last year we did the same thing. 4th position, then we dropped right off. This year, we were still beating teams though. Last year we actually played a lot better offensively. But our issue now is, our percentage is horrible. And looking at it and going, we could have creamed West Coast, North by more, and Richmond. However,
in fairness, I actually think the West Coast win wasn't that bad.
No, it's not. And the Richmond one...
I think the Richmond one, I said...
it was their granny.
They're going to be their granny.
The one that hurts us is Port. We didn't lose any fucking fans for Sydney because Sydney is so dominant. And you guys went up there and lost by 50 points.
That's true.
The one thing that I'm really not happy about is that Port Adelaide loss. And we corrected everything after that.
If it wasn't for that Port Adelaide loss, you wouldn't have made the changes that you had.
We wouldn't be the team we are today. We have come out in the third quarter. We put Stringer straight in the middle. We have an emphasis on hitting the game with speed straight after the halftime siren.
With Ridley back, who won your BNF 2 years ago, playing as an undersized key defender, now comes back into a side where Ben Mackay is there, who is just a beast. He gets to play against his actual position, which means he can intercept. His skill level and putting that ball in the middle with his foot skills.
Last week.
You should win.
We will win.
This is all between the ears for the Bombers. All between the ears.
We're not showing up. There's been a chance for us to lose.
This is the game. This is the game. I've been saying it for weeks.
Say it for fucking. It won't be this one.
I've been saying this for a few weeks.
If Essendon win this game and I hear the same bullshit next week, I swear to God, I'm not hosting the show.
This is the game. This is the game.
Walk it off
This is the game. This is Essendon's chance to validate their position.
I'll ask you this: if Essendon win this game, do they beat Carlton?
No.
Oh, typical.
Different side.
All right, I'm so excited to go to the game with you because I actually think it's going to be very close. All right, so we got the bye teams. We got Giants. We got the 2 Sydney teams, Giants and the Sydney Swans. We got the Lions and we got North Melbourne.
Did you hear about North?
What happened?
Clark's in trouble, being investigated by the AFL.
What for?
He said vile things to the Port Adelaide bench. He's at it again.
He's ruthless. He doesn't give a shit. Okay, well, this I have a question for you. Who does this buy help the most? And then I'll answer that.
Okay, so who does this help the most?
Like, who needs it? Who would you say, okay, I'll answer.
Let me answer. I mean, the incredible thing, I think I said in the last one, Sydney are that far in front that even after this game in a year that the ladder positions changed week to week, they will still be on top.
Yeah.
So I think for Sydney, this is just a little breather for them. Giants were finally hitting some form, so I don't think this really helps them too much.
No.
North is shit. I think this helps Brisbane the most. I think this gives them a key because they were playing okay football before the Hawthorn game. They've had a lot of injuries. They've hit the halfway point. This is where they're like, okay, we were supposed to be a grand final side. in our minds, winning. We were 46 points up in round one, and here we are now. We're struggling with people on the field. What's happened off the field, this Vegas trip or whatever. I think this is going to help Brisbane the most in terms of a reset. What do we have to do? Because they're not out of it. They're not. The league's too close. Can Brisbane go on a run? I think it helps Brisbane the most.
I was going to say they're 13th placed, 4 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw. If they can do some team building shit over these next 2 weeks until they come back, I mean, they've already probably had the week where whatever they've been doing. If they get their break, I know some teams give their break, they go away, they travel, all that stuff. For them, logically, it would have made sense. You can definitely see there's a team breakdown. If they can spark that back up and just actually put some good shit together, put the glue back together, figure out what's going wrong, and actually come out swinging in their next game, they can definitely turn their game around.
Well, can they do...
Their year will be completely changed.
Can they do a Carlton or GWS last year?
Well, and they're better suited. They can make the granny from there.
Well, Carlton and GWS were sides... Well, Carlton hadn't had success for years.
Yeah.
GWS had sort of the year before, I think, had maybe played finals. Brisbane a couple got for the back of a granny. So can they all right, let's reassess. Okay, great. Top 4's not in contention. What can we do to sneak into the 8? What are the moves we have to do? Or is this year gone? Not rebuild, but what do we do for the following year? So we're backfiring, because sometimes teams just have a gap year.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what Geelong did.
Geelong did that.
What have we got for the viewers, Johnny? We've got a bit of a special with Harley. It's coming up. Harley from Sports. Harley
from Harley Sports Talk. We did at the start of the year a preview of the upcoming season where we, went through the teams, did our ladder predictions, who win the Brownlow, all that sort of stuff. Tomorrow night we will be filming a mid-season review. So how the year has been going, having a look at every, all the teams, who are the surprise packets, who are the disappointments, what our team of the year has been. So we're all going to have our own individual sides. Who would our All-Australian side be? And it's just going to be a bit of fun to just review this season that's had. It's gone quick.
It has gone quick, guys. That wraps up Round 12 preview in the AFL. What a quick year this year. It's just flying.
Very
guys,
quick.
Please drop your comments. Please let us know who you're tipping for this week. And do you agree with what Johnny and I are having to say? Probably not. But anyway, you know the absolute drill. Like, subscribe, and...
ring the bell. Fucking.
See you in the next one.